What up, YouTube? This is Chef, New Zealand Murder History Podcast. And I'm coming to you live from Greymouth. So check this one out. We've got a little history lesson today. We're not doing a murder show, just a little history. Should be good. But here's the question. Who was Annie Long? Well, you want to know who Annie Long was? I'll tell you. There's Annie Long. She was a Chinese lady. And she came here. Well, let's read off this board. I'm going to paraphrase a little because the English is a bit broken when I say it out loud, so check this out. Annie Long came to the west coast to marry Ah Long. One story goes that his first wife did not want to come to New Zealand, so she sent her servant girl to marry him in her place. The couple ran a store, boarding house, market garden, and a butchery up in the Grey Valley. Now, Annie Long was a servant girl, so her feet were not bound as a child, which is, great, obviously, because that gave her better mobility and freedom than other Chinese women. 8 of the couple's 10 children survived childbirth. One of their sons was sent back to China when he was just 5, and another was given to their friends who didn't have a child. But soon their marriage was in trouble. Her husband ran a butchery and gardens, while she ran the store and raised their many children. Later on, they lived separately. Annie Long was a devout Christian against her husband's wishes, which back in those days, you didn't really go against your husband's wishes. She did. She wanted to be a Christian. Her husband didn't want that. She wasn't bothered. Annie Long. And she actually really blasted this Presbyterian minister, Don Alexander, about the Chinese poll tax. Now, what was the Chinese poll tax? Well, I just looked it up, and we used to charge the Chinese an extra £10 to come here. Now, that's $1,700 back in the day. I mean, it was £10 back in the day. It's $1,700 in today's money. At least that's what it said on the internet. To me, it sounds like it could be even more than that. But well, it's hard to know. I mean, how much was a packet of smokes back then? But anyway, Annie Long's husband died in 1930. Yeah, they also had a laundry business later on. Check this out. This was their old laundry. I read it was in Albert Mall. It doesn't say it's in Albert Mall here, but that's what I just read on the internet. So that's Annie Long in the car, and that's her son, Albert Long. One of them. Yeah. So she was not a shy woman, and she shook hands. She was the first Chinese woman to shake hands with the Governor General in 1907, Governor William Plunkett. Yeah, and that's all the story I have about Annie Long. So let's have a read of this board. Let's see what it says. During the Chinese New Year, the population of Chinatown would swell, and residents would put fireworks displays on so great that in the end it was moved in 1896 to Victoria Park Racecourse. Not entirely sure where that is. Yeah, what else are they talking about? Opium use. Police were often hunting opium through in 1904 when they raided a market gardener and dug up a fair chunk of his plot. They only found potatoes. Soon after, another man, Yet Poi, found lying on his back with a pipe, tried to tell the court that he was smoking the ashes left after someone else had smoked opium. Okay, so he was smoking someone else's O. Yeah, I don't know if the court was really trying to hear that, but mind you, he was Chinese. Back in these days, they probably weren't really trying to hear nothing, you know. There's quite a lot of hostility towards the Chinese and stuff like that. Still is, but yeah. They often would own fruit shops and stuff like that to supply the miners, you know. This town's all on mining, so you got plenty of Chinese were miners too, remember? And they come here to mine gold and coal. And this was their old Chinatown district. It's now just Grey Central. It sort of borders Blaketown where we are right now. I mean, no, Blaketown's further down past that roundabout there, but that's sort of where the border is. In fact, that street there that goes down to Blaketown past the roundabout, yeah, that's Boundary Street. And it's called Boundary Street because all this part of Greymouth here, that's owned by the Maoris, Mawhera, Tainui tribe. A lot of these buildings are actually only leased off the Maoris. But then down on the other side of Boundary Street, so down there and then to the west, that's where it becomes property of the wharf. Yeah, the Maoris sold that part to the wharf. And that's why over here you've got West Fleet. I mean, you can't really see it. I'd have to go down there a bit further. But anyway, you get West Fleet, stuff like that. It's all owned by the wharf. So people in Blaketown actually lease their properties too. A lot of these places are on like 100-year leases and stuff like that, but you still got to pay every year to either the wharf or the Maoris. Yeah. Well, that's it. That's the story of Annie Long. Well, that's all I know anyway. Let's go for a little walk. Check out this dolphin. What's this about? Hector's dolphin. Cool. Alright, well, it's just a statue of a dolphin. Yeah. Have a good one, everybody.